Hey everybody, and welcome to my lore video for Season 7 of Diablo 4, the Season of Witchcraft, which has everything to do with the Tree of Whispers. In this video, I'm going to recap the events, and at the end, I'm going to give a bit of a recap of one of the most important characters in this season. And I'll also give you my thoughts about the lore this season. Okay, so let's start with what we know about the Tree of Whispers. The Tree of Whispers is a mysterious, sentient tree located in the swampy jungles beyond Hawezar. It's renowned for its grotesque appearance, right? With countless severed heads hanging from its branches. And the tree offers knowledge as a loan, claiming the heads of its borrowers upon their death to collect its debt. A conclave of witches serves the tree in exchange for its wisdom, and it relies on agents to act on its behalf. So, for example, you could ask the tree any question whatsoever, and the tree would answer in exchange for your head once you die. The tree played a pivotal role in the story of Elias. Remember in the campaign of the game? He was a mage seeking immortality and means to summon Lilith. So you, with the help of Lorath and Thaisa, one of the witches, you uncovered Elias's secret a mummified finger that anchored his essence, and you destroyed it, making Elias mortal again. In a final confrontation, Elias was killed and the tree collected its debt by taking his head. Now, despite the death of Elias, Lilith remained a threat, and Lorath made a dangerous bargain with the tree to locate the gates of hell beneath Khaldun, accepting the eventual price he would have to pay. After the defeat of Lilith, you return to the Tree of Whispers, and you continue to undertake missions to settle the debt of others who owed the tree. So let's get started with this season. You begin by meeting a witch named Galena in the city of Gea Kul. She has come to claim a stolen head, one that belongs to the tree. She can hear its calling, but something feels wrong. The voice is twisted, buried beneath something unnatural. The head must be found, and the tree must be repaid. Following her lead, you search the lower streets, where the city rots from within. The docks are breaking apart, roots pushing through the stone. Galena senses the head nearby, but it is hidden beneath the tangle of corruption that spreads through the alleys. The search leads to a tenement, now swallowed by sickly brambles. Inside, the wall pulses, veins of rot running through the wood. Something moves in the shadows. Bodies, once human, now consumed by whatever spreads through the tenement, attack you. The rot has given them strength, but their minds are gone. You cut them down and press forward. At the center of the building, you find it, a mass of roots, thick and knotted, curled around a swollen sack of flesh. Inside, something struggles to break free, and then the sack bursts open. What rises from it is wrong. A headless husk, filled with the rot's power. Its strength beyond anything that should exist. The head fused to it should be dead. Yet it fuels this creation. The husk does not fall easily, but once severed from the rot, the body collapses. The stolen head rolls free. Galena does not celebrate the victory. The head was taken from the tree, and so must be brought back. She urges you to return with her to the Tree of Whispers to discuss this further. Now, when you arrive, there's bodies everywhere, their blood soaking into the ground. The tree itself has been wounded. Its roots are blackened. Some of the heads that once whispered from the branches are missing. The Coven, the witches who serve the tree, are also gone. No one has answered Galena's call. The tree is dying, and the one who caused it still remains unseen. Galena gives you an offer. Help restore what has been lost, and in return, learn what only witches know and learn from their powers. So what we're saying here is there's only 3 witches left from the Coven at this point in time, or that are answering the call. We already know of one other witch, right, because of the campaign, which is Thaisa. I've made a video about her. Go check that out. She's not here for this season, which is a bit of a shame for this story. Also, this is where you give your help, basically. So I'm going to find these heads, I'll bring them back, and in exchange, Galena and the others will give you witch powers. At this point, the Coven of Witches is a bit broken. Only Galena, Kaiden, and Ouna remain. No word has come from the others, even from Thaisa, who we know from the main campaign, as I've already said. The Tree of Whispers stands wounded. Its roots are infected, its heads are missing. If it's to survive, the heads must be found, and the cause of the roots must be uncovered. In terms of the other witches, Kaiden is old, sharp, and he speaks in, blunt truth. He understands the body, how to heal it and how to break it. Ouna is younger, but no less skilled. She speaks of things unseen, of shapes hiding in the dark. The tree has taught her more than most, and she listens when others do not. Ouna is a very important character this season, so keep your eye on her. Eventually, the whispers lead to Belith the Elder. The tree spoke its true name to her long ago, when the world was younger, before the swamp took root. If the head can be recovered, the tree can be cleansed. So, the trail leads north at this point into the Fractured Peaks. The head is buried deep in a cave called the Silent Roothold, a place where things are forgotten. So the rot is here as well. Bodies twisted by it rise in the dark. They are strong, but they fall all the same. At the back of the cave, the head is found, Belith, long lost, her whispers faint but clear. Returning to the Tree of Whispers with the head, the Coven prepares the ritual. It's the ritual of cleansing. The rot will be burned away from the head, the tree will be restored. The witches gather in the swamp, forming a circle at the base of the tree, and you take part in the ritual of cleansing. Dark forces strike before the ritual can take hold, drawn by the weakness of the tree and by the ritual. You hold the line, fighting to complete the ritual as the battle rages. Eventually, the ritual completes, but unfortunately, the rot on the tree remains. It lingers in the branches and the roots in the whispers. The tree is alive, as we know, but something deeper is wrong. The heads that return must be cleansed before they are restored. Whatever infected them must be burnt away. We still don't know what's causing this rot, but what we know is that we can bring back heads, cleanse them, and put them back on the tree. The search for missing heads continues, but Ouna grows distant. She listens to the whispers more than she speaks, caught in thoughts she does not share. When she does speak, it is about Falthane, a druid who once taught the tree's wisdom. His head is among the lost. She tracks him to Skosglen, where he once walked amongst the forests and moors. The search leads to a withered tree. Beneath it lies a cave, which is where we go. Rot crawls through this tunnel. The bodies here are not demons, but something worse. The deeper you go, the stronger the whispers become. At the heart of the cave, you find Falthane, but he is no longer himself. His head has been fused into a headless husk. The same fate suffered by the others taken from the tree. The rot has twisted its form, making him into something that should not be alive. His head eventually rolls free, its whispers still strong. There is no relief in his voice. He speaks of regret. The knowledge the tree gave him did not bring him peace. He harbors deep anger against the tree. It brought only suffering. And Ouna does not argue. She has seen too many like him. She takes the head, promising to cleanse it of the rot. Eventually, more heads are recovered. Each one adds to the weight, pressing down on the Coven. Kaiden, ever suspicious, begins an autopsy of one of the head rotted. He finds something unexpected. The rot is not from hatred, which was the original thought. There is no demonic corruption inside these bodies. No, the infection comes from something else. A witch's talisman is found embedded deep within one of the creatures. Its markings are old, but the power inside is clear. A witch is responsible for the rot. A second cleansing ritual is prepared to purge the corruption. The witches gather, the ritual circle drawn once again. The tree must be restored, and the heads must be freed from whatever is tainting them. As the ritual nearly ends, Ouna suddenly panics. She steps away from the circle. Her hands shaking, she turns and she runs. The ritual breaks, the rot fights back. Ouna knows more than she has said. Now, this is a good moment to talk about Ouna a bit. Ouna was a child when she actually asked a question to the tree. We don't really know what she asked, but what we do know is that it cost her, her head when she dies. And she says that children have many questions, so it seems like potentially she was taken advantage of as a child by the tree. And because she's a witch, she grew up listening to the whispers, listening to the heads on the tree. And they became her family. And the more she listened, the more she realized that the tree took advantage of all these people, of their weakness, of their need for answers in there, and maybe she's tried to do something? Let's find out. Now, Ouna is gone, leaving the ritual broken and the Coven shaken. Galena and Kaiden pursue her, but she stays ahead of them, moving between hiding places, never lingering for long. The whispers of the missing heads remain strong, scattered across the land, but they are not the only voices calling. Signs of Una's presence appear across Estror, but each time she is tracked, she vanishes again. Kaiden remembers a place, a cave near the border of Teganze. Ouna once retreated there when she was younger, when she sought solitude away from the Coven. At the cave's entrance, no path is visible, only untouched rock. Ouna has hidden it. The illusion is strong, but it is only a delay. A shrouding charm is destroyed, and the cave reveals itself, a passage leading into the darkness. Inside, the first thing to be heard is a voice, singing. The words are old, distant, broken. Then come the head rotten, rising from the shadows. The creatures fight without hesitation, mindless in their movements, and of course, you kill them, they fall, and the path continues deeper. At the heart of the cave, Una's sanctuary is found. The air is thick with the scent of potions and charred herbs. There is no sign of Ouna though, but on a wooden table sits a severed head, still speaking. The name it gives is Lilia. This head is not bound to the tree. Ouna took her, just as she took the others. She speaks of a promise, a way to free the heads, to undo their suffering. The tree's death is a curse, and Ouna wanted to break it. But something went wrong. This head is also bound to the tree. The ritual failed. The heads did not gain their freedom. They became something else. The rot spread from them, filling the dead with false life, turning them into the head rotten. Lilia does not know where Ouna has gone. She does not remember. Galena takes the head and leaves, and the search continues. More heads are returned to the tree, but no relief comes. Ouna is still out there, and the heads she has taken are missing. When she is finally found, she is no longer hiding. She stands among the rot, surrounded by the bodies of the creatures she created. The ritual she attempted is undone, but the damage remains. The corruption cannot be reversed. She admits her failure. She sought to break the tree's hold, but the rot was stronger than her magic, and she just cannot stop it. She can only contain it potentially, and the heads must return to the tree. But the tree does not forgive. Ouna awaits and accepts her judgment. The rot has taken too much from her, but not her will. She does not beg, she does not fight. She has already made her choice. Indeed, the debt must be paid. Ouna must die. Now, Kaiden turns away. He has a soft spot for her, and he doesn't want anything to do with her death. He has followed the tree for years, but the idea of killing Ouna is just too much. Galena, though, does what must be done and sits with Ouna, getting ready to take her head. Once the deed is done, Galena takes the head of Ouna to the tree, and the tree takes what it is owed. Now, it's not clear if the tree is completely without rot now that the head of Ouna has been given to it. Probably not. More heads are missing. More voices will whisper, and nothing really has been solved. Galena remains. She has given everything to the tree, and it has taken just as much. The swamp does not care for grief, only for what it is owed. Now you yourself, you leave the tree behind. You get ready for your next headhunt. And as you walk, you find a letter. Kaiden's parting words. He does not ask for forgiveness, but he only hopes that in all of this, you at least tried to do what was right. So, what exactly was this about? Let's try and recap it. Well, first of all, we start with Ouna. Ouna was a witch of the Coven, and she was raised under the teachings of the Tree of Whispers. As a child, she took an oath to the tree, binding herself to its will in exchange for knowledge. What she asked of the tree, we don't know. Ouna only mentions that the children are full of questions. Like all who made such a pact, she knew that when she died, her head would be taken and added to its branches, her voice joining the whispers that never stop. For years, she listened to the heads of the tree, and slowly they became family to her. The heads on the tree spoke to her, sharing their wisdom, their regrets, and their pain. They all asked questions once, seeking truths they could not live without. But the answers never really brought peace. The price was too high. They were trapped, condemned to whisper forever. Ouna wanted to free them, just that. Using her knowledge of witchcraft, she attempted a ritual to sever the bond between the tree and its heads. If she succeeded, they would no longer be bound in undeath. They would be released, but the magic was flawed. Instead of breaking their connection, it just corrupted it. The heads did not die. Instead, they merged with dead bodies, creating the head rotten. Now, she tried to fix her mistake, but the corruption spread. The rot reached the tree. She worked in secret, taking the heads she could, hoping to find another way. She lied to the Coven, continuing her experiments while pretending to search for the source of the corruption. And when the truth was discovered, well, she panicked. She fled rather than face what she had done. Well, she was just trying to, find a fix, buy some time to find a way to fix this corruption. But in the end, she accepted her failure. She could not undo the rot, only return the heads to the tree and stop the spread. The tree did not forgive her transgressions, though. For breaking the oath, Ouna was executed, her head placed amongst those she once tried to save. Her voice now joins the whispers, bound to the tree forever, the fate she had spent her life trying to escape. So, let's talk about pros here. I guess the pros of this story this season is that it's fun to be back with the Tree of Whispers. I like the fact that the story does not end on a happy note. There really are no happy stories in Diablo, as there shouldn't be really. Just happy moments, but really globally, it's never good. And yeah, I think that's all I can say about the story. Really, it's interesting to find out more about the Tree of Whispers, but other than that, what I don't like about it, so let's go into the cons, is it's all in pockets. The story of this season was in a pocket, and I think that's a mistake. I think it should be connected to the campaign. I think it should be connected to previous people. The Tree of Whispers is a huge part of the campaign, and just off the top of my head here, we have Thaisa. She's the witch from the campaign. She plays a huge part in this. She could have come back potentially and had something to do with the Tree of Whispers. And the big one here is Elias. Elias, his head is on there. They say here during this season that his head hasn't left the tree. It's still there. We're good. And that is, oh man, this season, in my opinion, should have been about the head of Elias finding a way to break free. He whispered to one of the witches. He convinced one of the witches to set him free, or to figure out a way to set him free. And that created the rot, potentially. And, we would still be within the theme of this season. You could have the witchcraft, you can have all of that. But the story itself should have been about finding Elias. His head could have been, huge, bloated, disgusting, and it could have been connected to like a monster of some sorts. Let's go for like a freaking dragon or something, like a huge dragon with Elias's head. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, that would have been amazing. And at the end of the season, we defeat the dragon and we put the head back to the Tree of Whispers, but there's still other heads that have broken free. So you got to continue. And that's the gameplay loop. But that's what I would have done. And then suddenly you have a new boss, right? That we could have had a new boss for endgame content. That's what it should have been. All right. So yeah. Meh story. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. As usual, make sure to subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.